Hello, hello. It's been quite a while, but here we are back with One Piece manga chapter reviews. I'm a few weeks behind, so we'll have at least two, maybe three chapters to go through this week. So let's hop right into it. We've got our weekly Shonen Jump cover for the week of chapter 1155. It's a very nice chapter cover featuring Luffy going through all of his gears, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Well, technically, his base form is gear first, so there's that. There's some Uda, Cuppy Noodles, super cute. Great mascots are still popping up. The Yaru cat is super adorable. So Uda enjoying food as usual. This chapter has a color spread, very nice color spread. Luffy swinging through the air. We stop clinging to him, crying because of how high up they are. All the Straw Hats are high up. They're flying penguins all around. A ladder bridge between two buildings. Frankie. In the background, there's a poster of Luffy in Gear 5th. The picture from his wanted poster. But it's not his wanted poster, it's just a giant blown up version of that image. Jimbei. Okay. Well, Jimbei holding Nami, who's also afraid of the heights. Got Sanji kneeling before Nami, making a proclamation. Zoro in the background watching. Robin with Chopper. And Frankie. Rook playing music for one of the flying penguins. Really nice cover spread. Okay, we're hopping into the chapter. We have a child Loki talking to someone. This is Elbaf, but Pops ain't here. He's on a voyage. You're all puny humans. This is the first I've ever seen one moving around for real. Ah ha ha ha, how cute. Hang on, did you just say Pops? You're Harold's kid? So these are the Rocks pirates talking to Loki. Rocks, the legendary pirate, came to Elbaf, but why? Chapter 1155, The Rocks Pirates. So the chapter is all about rocks. I'm guessing he can still be reached even if he's away, right? What's your name? Loki. Alright, Loki, just do what I tell you. Head on home and get someone to send urgent word to your pops. Tell him to say, Loki has been seriously hurt. Got to return to Elbaf at once. Watch your mouth. Do I look like I take orders from a human? Says Loki, looking very angry. You seriously expect my father to drop everything just because I'm hurt? Yeah, right. Besides, someone as weak looking as you has no right to boss me around. Uh-oh. And we have Rocks rearing his sword. We've got Conqueror's Haki going from the blade. Rock's swordsmanship was renowned for its brutal impact, akin to a giant hammer or cannon fire. It was said to blow everything in the surrounding vicinity away. So you have confirmation that Rocks primarily fought with a sword, much like Roger did. We've got Conqueror's Haki here confirmed on the blade. It doesn't look like he has a black blade, so we have Conqueror's Haki. Probably advanced Conqueror's Haki as well. He doesn't have a blade that is permanently black all the time, but of course he can imbue his blade with Haki. Next panel, big spread. Rock swings the sword and lays a blow on Loki. Ah, yeah. Vwahahaha. There we have it. So there's Loki's laugh. Vwahahaha. Loki has been seriously hurt. Harold's path crossed with this man once before. It happened during a revelry that year. Someone attacked and kidnapped 5 of the kings? Unbelievable. That big man in black has to be the culprit. The lives of those sovereigns cannot be used to extort Mu. So this is Emu speaking from Emu in the chamber room, saying the lives of the kings that Rox took aren't useful to Emu, so they can't be used to extort him. No kidding, but it threw the Holy Lands into total chaos, didn't it? Now we have narrator box again. The incident would be the first and last of its kind. An intruder made it all the way to the flower room hidden deep within the Holy Land. So we see that when first Emu was speaking, then we zoom out and we see that Rox is sitting in the background holding a pistol. So he snuck into the flower room where Emu hangs out. Also, one of Emu's servants is there. We get a close-up of her face. She kind of looks a little bit like Gunko, but she has heterochromia, so one eye is a dark color and the other eye is a light color. Could that be due to Emu's control, or is that just naturally what her eyes are like? We don't know at this point. Now we get another shot of Emu turning around to look at Rox and more narration. The man claimed to be a Davy Jonesian pirate. The man claimed to be a Davy Jonesian pirate. He knew there was nothing more he could do in that moment. So he withdrew with these words. Just wait. One day, I'll be back. Naturally, this incident would never be brought to light. Ironically, on that very day, there was another intruder in the Holy Land. Look, it's so much bigger than a normal giant. I want it as a slave. No, we should kill it and have it stuffed. Guards, protect the nobles. So you have celestial dragons reacting. Hot. I'm sorry, the negotiations went south. And I know trespassing is a crime, but isn't all this going a bit too far? Don't let the king-napper get away. That wasn't me, I swear. So we have Harold running away. Apparently he tried to sneak into Maryjoa to negotiate with the world nobles. Of course, that wasn't taken to very kindly, and now he's on fire. How did he end up on fire? It's not entirely clear at this point. I don't think the gunshots from the soldiers would have been enough to set Harold on fire. And I don't think there's anything, well, other than maybe the mother flame, I don't think there's anything big enough to, any sort of fire big enough to actually engulf Harold. So how did he end up on fire like this? Either way, he's running away trying to escape. The guards have mistaken him for the king-napper and are going after him. An admiral was murdered. The culprit ran towards the castle. Proceed with caution. Huff, huff. Now we have Rox running away after he has escaped the flower room. And it looks like he's running towards Harold. It's just one thing after the other. Seize that big'un. That must be the guy who kidnapped the kings. How dare he use me as a scapegoat? I'll show him. A giant in the Holy Land? You're a kind lurk. Don't your kind lurk in the boonies? Oh boy, and we have a huge clash between Harold and Rox. Harold swings his blade, Rox swings his blade. We have a clash. We see Black Lightning Bolts from Conqueror's Haki, so do they both have Conqueror's Haki? For sure we have Rox's Haki. Okay, yeah. I think it's true they both have Conqueror's Haki. It's just there's a mix of the flames from Herald being on fire and the Black Lightning Bolts from the Conqueror's Haki clash, but pretty sure they both have Conqueror's Haki, which makes sense. Vohahaha, state your name. Badahahaha, it's Herald. Angle your next strike towards the town. They'll enslave you if you get caught. I'm Rox. Huh? Why? The clash between the two strangers blew everyone away within a 5-kilometer radius. Yep, that was a Conqueror's Haki clash. I'm Rox. Angle your next strike towards the town. They'll enslave you if you get caught. Huh? Why? Don't ask questions. Ah. How do I get to Elbaf? The new world is that way. Wahaha, if you survive this, let's meet again, Herald. Don't be ridiculous, as if I'd ever associate with a criminal like you. What the? Are you seriously just gonna jump off the edge? Rox had taken down a Navy admiral just moments earlier. So Rox murdered a Navy admiral. So that's a huge show of strength right there. Killed the Navy admiral, which would make sense because during the revelry they usually do have the admirals guarding. But it was just one admiral that he killed. An admiral from the pre-story that he killed, and this is during Roger's era, so that admiral hasn't been identified, and he's probably not story significant anyway, but it is very notable that Rox killed an admiral single-handedly. While running away, his major goal was to escape, so it's quite a feat to his name. Despite all the efforts to save him, the Admiral did not survive. It was deemed the most grievous sin of sins. In the blink of an eye, Rox's infamy bloomed. The event sent a powerful shock throughout the seas, and we have a wanted poster for Rox. The dead are alive, Rox Zavek, and the bounty is obscured. Now we have to go back to the... what was that chapter? 500 something? Was it 500? No way, it wasn't 500. It was 900 or so. Either way, it was the chapter where they finally revealed Rogers and Whitebeard's bounty. I believe they said that those were the highest bounties ever reported. So, if I'm remembering correctly, Roger had the highest bounty ever recorded. So, Rox's bounty can't be higher than Roger's bounty, which was something like, was it 5 billion or 5.5 billion in that area, around that area? So Roger's bounty here, or Rox's bounty here, can't be higher than what Roger's was. But it's interesting that they've obscured it. They're not showing it yet. Why not? That's the weird part, because they wouldn't need to obscure the reveal of Rox's bounty if Rox's bounty wasn't higher. or there wasn't something interesting about the bounty. And the only thing interesting there could be about the bounty is if it's high. Now, we do know the world government lies about things all the time, so... But what reason would they have to lie about a bounty? Let's see. Did the world government erase rocks from history? Maybe they did. Like in the pirating world, at least among the highest upper echelons of the pirating world, especially since every Yonko has been a part of Rox's crew or a part of Roger's crew outside of Luffy and Blackbeard. And Blackbeard is a technicality there because he's the son of Rox, so not part of Rox's crew in a technical sense, but that's the will of Rox carried out through his son, so connection to Rox there. And I guess in a similar sense, Luffy is the will of Roger carried out, which would make all of the Yonko, period, having a connection to Roger and Rox. Okay, next page. We're on a boat out at sea. Narrator, sometime later. Ooh, a ship carrying a great amount of celestial tributes to Majoa. A ship carrying a great amount of celestial tribute to Mary Joie was attacked. The gates of justice were destroyed, and the attacker fled the scene. The stolen funds were later used to support Rox's pirate activities. So, wait a minute. Was this the inciting incident for the Rox pirates? Was this attack on Emu and the Celestial Dragons before Rox was officially a pirate? And he was declared a pirate after he gained his bounty. It's hard to tell. So funds were stolen, later used to support Rox's pirate activities. Till that point, Rox had always acted against the world government. But after that, he started to target pirates too. Which is interesting. So Rox targeted both the world government and pirates. Once he became a pirate. In the world of pirates, there exists a long-standing tradition known as a Davy Back fight. Pirate crews would compete in a series of matches, wagering their flags or even their crewmates in a truly ruthless game. So the Davy Back fights come back. It looks like Rox participated and gained a lot of his crew through winning Davy Back fights. Is that the only way he targeted pirates? To gain strong crew members through Davy Back fights? Or is this just something else he did aside from attacking pirates? No, it seems like, well, next page explains it. Rox used this tradition to build his entire crew. They've got an amazing guy you'll lose when you see him. They had won many scoundrels to their side before they even had a flag. After that, that's it. They made their way to Elbaf, so... Rox built his entire crew through Davy back fights, which makes sense because one of the big questions about the Rocks Pirates was, why were they all together? All of these people in the Rocks Pirates were all free-willed, very strong individuals with their own goals and aims, and they weren't in line at all with Rocks, and there didn't seem to be anything between them like there is between the Straw Hats, where they can attain their goals while at the same time helping Luffy with his goal. There was nothing like that with the Rocks Pirates. They all seemed, in fact, like they would be enemies, except for the fact that they were crewmates. So, what was it that bound them together about Rocks other than him being really strong? And now we get the revelation. It was the Davy back fights. Their honor as pirates was on the line. They had to follow Rocks, no matter what, because they lost the Davy back fights. But this is also an interesting thing because it means that all of them were on crews previously. Not Kaido. I don't think Kaido. I think Kaido may have been the only member because he was a cabin boy on the ship, so on the crew, so he was probably the only member to join the Rocks Pirates after the Rocks Pirates had been formed. Everyone else seemed to have been on pirate crews previously, or maybe even solo pirates previously, but sailing the sea as pirates. When Rocks found them and challenged them to Davy back fights. Which means it would be interesting to see where they were originally before the Davy back fights. I'd imagine I'd imagine that Whitebeard was sailing solo. Because it seems like he built his crew after the Rocks Pirates disbanded. Before that, he was sailing on a regular pirate ship. Maybe that was the pirate crew he was part of. Then Rocks attacked that crew, Davy back fight, took Whitebeard. That's how Whitebeard ended up in Rocks. Then we have Bucking Stussy. No idea where her or Shiki would have come from. But either way, we have exclamation here, and this ties back to the words narrator spoke about. Rocks claiming to be a Davy Jonesian pirate, a specific type of pirate. A Davy Jonesian pirate. I'm wondering if he told Emu that he was a Davy Jonesian pirate. And if that has particular meaning. Does that link back to Joy Boy? Was Joy Boy a Davy Jonesian pirate? And what does that mean? Is that a philosophical thing? A particular pirate creed? Or is there something more to it? The D couldn't be Davy Jonesian. The D clan? The Davy Jonesian clan? No. Because that would be way too anticlimactic of a reveal for it to be just a line that Rocks casually drops in front of Emu without any sort of reaction or fanfare. So I wouldn't go so far as to say that it is the D of the will of D, but there still could be a connection there of... Let's get back to the shot on the ship. We have the Rocks pirates sort of assembled. We have Rocks speaking to Whitebeard as they're sailing towards Elbaf. We've got Stussy and Shiki there. They want many scoundrels to their side before they even had a flag. After that, they made their way to Elbaf. Elbaf, Oust Castle. Oh no, I rushed home as fast as I could. But I'm glad you already turned a corner in your recovery. Thank goodness. I know that you're strong, Loki, but you shouldn't wander into the realm of the dead. You got lucky escaping with nothing more than that after falling off that cliff. There's plenty more dangers just lurking deeper inside. Dad really came back? It has to be a coincidence. He couldn't have come for me. Rocks. I've heard all about your crimes. What are you doing here? I missed you, Harold. You gotta join my crew. The world government won't hear you out, right? You get it now? Time has come. Don't be stupid. If I anchor myself with a thug like you, I'll lose all the goodwill I've built up with my allies. It's a real feast. Jahahaha. So we've got the Rocks pirates eating food. It sure is big. So that's the King of Elbaf. We've got a guy who looks kind of like a mafioso. We've got Shiki. Got Stussy. Got another guy who kind of looks a little bit like Caribou did. Like a really big caribou. We've got Whitebeard. It's still only a small section of the Rocks pirates because we don't see Captain John. And I'm pretty sure there was one other pirate that was notable from the first appearance of Rocks, but either way, it's not the entire crew. Or maybe this is before those guys joined the crew, since this is very early on. What of it? What of it? Aren't those allies government pawns? What's the point of reaching for something that's impossible? You gotta level the playing field. Don't be a wet blanket, Harold. Elbaf has the greatest warriors in the world. If something churns your stomach, you should just crush it. That's the old way. Elbaf has changed. People never change. That same bloodlust is still pulsing through you. Hey, can't you two just enjoy the meal? It's Whitebeard. You guys should know that if you follow a man like him, you'll only be led to ruin. This is Harold speaking to the Rocks pirates. Following that moron? Gee ha ha ha, don't make me laugh. We're all completely out for ourselves. None of us would bat an eye if Rocks died. Shiki, the Wicked, future Golden Lion. Well, that's not to say his plans don't have a certain appeal. They could prove very lucrative. Miss Bucking, the Tech Bandit. Buckingham Stussy. Have you heard of the Hachinosu, the place they call the Isle of Exiles, or even Pirate Island? Countries all around the world send their worst inmates there as a form of penal exile. Don Marlin, gangster from the West Blue. So we have Shiki. He also confirmed the thing that I was just speaking about, that they don't really care about Rocks. They're just following the pirate code. A Tech Bandit for Stussy, which makes sense because Stussy was a scientist engineer, which eventually led her to Mads after the Rocks Pirates fell. So Tech Bandit is a suiting epithet. Shiki the Wicked, the future Golden Lion. Don Marlin, a gangster from West Blue, just like Beige. Could he be related to Beige? Seems that these gangster pirates are a big thing in West Blue. It was meant to be a barren island with no food, where all you could do was wait for death. Edward Newgate, future Whitebeard. But last year the survivors started banding together. And why do you think that happened? Pirate Prophet Ochoku, future Commodore of Pirate Island. Ochoku, Commodore of Pirate Island. Commodore of Pirate Island? That's kinda odd. That for several reasons. In the present time, Blackbeard's title is Commodore, I believe. He's Commodore of the Blackbeard Pirates. And he runs and owns Hachinosu at this point. So is Commodore the title that the leader of Hachinosu has? So this guy, the Pirate Prophet Ochoku, was Commodore of Pirate Island and then Blackbeard took it over from him? Is that what I'm to understand here? Future Commodore of Pirate Island. Because it doesn't seem like Blackbeard would let anyone else be in charge of Pirate Island. He wanted that to be his base, his hideout, his territory, so there's no way this guy is the Commodore of Pirate Island in the present. But apparently he was the Commodore of Pirate Island at some point before Blackbeard took over the island. And I'm guessing the title of Commodore comes with being the leader of Pirate Island. Believe it or not, the island had a massive gold deposit. Shadowy organization found out and got involved. They helped the criminals amass a fortune. That really pissed off the government. Ganzui, the smuggler. These days, anyone who gets near the island gets swarmed by the hardened criminals. They'll strip you of everything. So then we cut a deal with the government. I asked, how much are you going to pay us if we take that island back for you guys? Once we get the money, we'll take down Pirate Island and split the mountain load of loot between us. But there's no way in hell we're just handing over the island and those criminals after that. Get it? I'll take charge of Hachinosu, and with these dumbasses under me, we'll turn it into a pirate paradise. I can already see the government and Marines standing there like clueless dogs. Wahahaha. This is just a prologue to my life. Using that island as me base, I'll crush the Navy, bring the Holy Land crashing down. After that, I'm gonna be king of the world. And then we see Loki peering into the room through a door. Your enemies are too big. You're picking a fight with the whole planet. Say what you want. One day someone's bound to pull it off. There's no such thing as a power that lasts forever. Join me, Herald. If we team up, we'll be unstoppable. Loki's still watching. Quit involving me. I told you I'm the king. That doesn't matter. I'm going to claim it. The whole damn world. The world. Loki suddenly realized he had found salvation. 4 years passed. Harold continued rejecting the numerous invitations he received until one day, Rox's plan had finally reached its fruition, backed by his monstrous crew. He would send shockwaves throughout the world. Set sail, ya bastards! The legend embarks. And now we have the Rocks Pirates. Now they officially have their Jolly Roger, which is rocks. The word rocks with the O being the skull. And it has hair looking like Rox's hair. So this is a big chapter confirming several things. A big focus on the Rocks Pirates and Rox himself. The goal definitely was to be king of the world. He's actually following a pattern very similar to what Blackbeard follows, which makes me wonder, is Blackbeard just following in Rox's footsteps as much as he can? Because there are lots of ideas that Blackbeard pulled off during his quest so far. Teaming up with the world government, using the world government's war against pirates, by pretending to be someone, a pirate that's willing to join the government's side. And then betraying the governments. Basically betraying the governments and betraying pirates. The goal of king of the world, so he's willing to negotiate with the world government, gain a position of power, and then negotiate with the world government with the ultimate goal of betraying and stabbing the world government in the back. Very similar to Blackbeard. He wants to take down pirates and the world government and sit as king of the world. Blackbeard seems to be on that path as well. So is it that Blackbeard is just following Rox as well? And he wants to conquer the entire planet as Rox was about to do before he ran into Roger. We get several characters here. It seems like the way it's set up, it looks like all of the characters here in the Rocks Pirates, if they're not alive and operating themselves as pirates, like Big Mom and Kaido, they have descendants, offspring, carrying on in their footsteps. Because if we assume that Marlin, Don Marlin, is the father of Beige from the West Blue, the supernova, then we have Stussy, who has the Stussy clone in Cyberpol operating. We have Ochoku, who is Ochoko, who was the Commodore of Pirate Island. He looks very much like the Caribou brothers, so if those Caribou brothers are his descendants, it would also explain why Caribou in the story was so enamored with Whitebeard and wants to be on Whitebeard's crew because his dad was on Rox's crew. Now, Gansui doesn't look particularly like any character in the current story. So maybe it's not a case where all of them have descendants, but a good few of them could. And then we see that that's where Loki, where he got his admiration for Rox, and sort of Rox's ideal, his dream of taking over the world. And so, since we do have this backlog, let's look at the next chapter, which is 1156. Shonen Jump has a crossover with Pokemon, so we have all the characters next to various Pokemon. Of course, Luffy is with Pikachu. And is that the only One Piece character on the cover? Yes. They have all the other Shonen Jump series lead characters matched with various Pokemon, so that's interesting to look at. Miss Oda caught up with Takehiko Inoue Sensei for the first time in a while. We had yakiniku and shared a ton of stories. It was a blast. And we get a color spread. Color spread featuring the Roger Pirates monster trio, and then the Straw Hat Pirates monster trio. It's a very nice shot. Okay. Very good color spread, showing the parallels between Rayleigh and Zoro, Luffy and Roger, Sanji and Gaban. Okay, first page. Chapter 1156, Idols. So I guess we're continuing on with how Loki idolizes Rox. Before the Great Pirate Era. Back in those days, certain idols roamed the seas. That was some pirate attack. Why aren't any of you fighting back? You guys are useless. They've taken everything. You men are hopeless. They were strong. Didn't lay a finger. You didn't lift a finger. Now what are we supposed to do? Even the Marines could not oppose this group. And we see a bunch of men beaten up with hearts in their eyes. Others turned to stone with hearts in their eyes. And the women yelling at them. They were known as the Kuja Pirates, crew that hail from the elusive Isle of Women. Of the Kuja pirate ship, fierce and stunning pirate band, off limits to men. I grow weary of my own beauty. Day and night, it always goes this way. And we've got a bunch of Kuja warriors are idolizing someone who's walking. Their face is obscured. Seems to be the Kuja queen at this time. Will I ever be free to shed it? This picture of perfection. Kia! Captain Gloriosa is a goddess. Empress of Amazon Lily, Captain of the Kuja Pirates. Gloriosa, future Elder Neon. So Gloriosa, Captain of the Kuja Pirates. And her outfit is very much like Boa Hancock's. So that kind of sets the idea that this is the traditional, kind of the traditional garb that the Captain of the Kuja Pirates wears. She's unbelievably cute. Unbearably cute. I'm in love. Her radiance is making my mind go blank. My heart can't afford to beat this hard. It also seems that Gloriosa had the same type of beauty that Hancock had, or has, in the current story. Even though they haven't really confirmed a genetic connection between Gloriosa and Hancock, at least not that I recall. Maybe in SBS or data books they confirmed their blood relation, but as far as I recall, that wasn't confirmed. It might have been confirmed outside of the main story here, but there has to be a genetic connection for them both to have that same trait of being so beautiful that everyone around them is instantly wowed and charmed by their beauty, especially to this extreme point. And it's not a side effect of the devil fruit, because Gloriosa, well, wait a minute. Actually, we see some Navy soldiers turn to stone, so maybe Gloriosa actually has the devil fruit at this point. But no, that doesn't make sense at all, because Gloriosa, if she had the devil fruit, she'd have to die to pass the fruit on to Boa, so wait a minute. Let me make sure. Looking up at the page, there's definitely some men on this island that have been beaten up. They're not turned to stone. Very clearly, we can see tremble lines. They have colors. And I say even the Marines could not oppose this group. And we see some Marines that are... maybe they're just standing still. They're frozen. With hearts in their eyes, standing still. And not turned to stone. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say at this point. They're not turned to stone. They're just standing. Okay. And anyway, so we have Gloriosa. Empress Gloriosa, here are your new fan letters. Tritoma. What about all those back there? Oh, those are for Lady Shaki. They're for Lady Shaki. They're 100 times more. Tritoma, future Empress of Amazon Lily. Wait. Okay. Boa Hancock is the Empress of Amazon Lily and the leader of the Kuja Pirates. Tritoma, future Empress of Amazon Lily. Okay. Wait. I don't know if I got confused somewhere along the line, but I always thought that the Empress of the Kuja, the Empress of Amazon Lily, and the leader of the Kuja Pirates were always one and the same. That if you were the Empress of Amazon Lily, you're automatically the leader of the Kuja Pirates, but it might be the case that those are two distinct roles that two separate people can have and have had in the past, because you have this character Trutoma, future Empress of Amazon Lily. So she's the Empress, future Empress of Amazon Lily. Does that make her the mother of Boa and her sisters? She had the kids. Boa would be the future Empress of Amazon Lily. But she also became leader of the Kuja Pirates, which united the two roles into one person at this time. I'm thinking that's what happened here. That makes sense. But also we get a confirmation here. Lady Shaki has even more fans than Gloriosa. So is Shaki actually more beautiful than Gloriosa here? Maybe. You got Gloriosa puffing out her cheeks and being mad. How could she? Upstaging your own captain was a total betrayal. Yeah, even her angry face is like a gem. Indeed, the only one sent to outshine the radiant Gloriosa, the star of her era, was none other than her first mate, Shakuyaku. So Shaki was the first mate of the Kuja Pirates. Gloriosa was the leader. Captain, an enemy ahead. Oh, that's... Hello there. It's me, Roger speaking. It's the Roger Pirates. Hand her over, Kuja Pirates. We got Roger's ship. Or Jackson, the egg is on the ship at this time. So the egg is there. Today's the day we finally win her from you. We're taking your first mate, Shakuyaku. Got Roger yelling over a megaphone transponder. You never learn. Roger isn't being loved by a woman like me enough, says Gloriosa. Get her! Rah! I brought you a flower. Please accept it as a gift. No, Shakuyaku, take my flower instead. In her presence, flowers wilted. Birds lost their songs, and people turned against one another. Stay away from Shaki. Who did you come to take again? Yeah, leaving Shakuyaku. They say that every move was captivating. Shakuyaku's here. Oh, Gabon. And Shaki does a kick. Just hearing you say my name is. There's a flipping kick. Very much like a move that Boa would do. Long time no see, Roger. How dare you do that to Gabon? Yeah, Roger. Very shakily and half-heartedly raising his sword at Shaki. And then the next panel, we have Roger falling over with hearts in his eyes, a big knot in his head. He's been knocked out, knocked down. Damn it, I like Shakuyaku too much. Same here, Roger. Her beauty humbled even the mightiest of warriors. And now we have Shaki doing the Kebedon move, slamming her hand against the wall besides Roger. You should know, never submit to another's captivity. Yeah, take their treasure. You can take my soul while you're at it. Roger, you know I'm the one who likes you, right? Says Gloriosa. She's trying to talk to Roger. Get out of the way, Gloriosa. You're blocking Shaki. First mate of the Kuja pirates. Shakuyaku. Really, it must be so hard for you. Yeah, I'm surrounded by idiots. And she winks at Rayleigh. Rayleigh makes a shocked reaction. Empress Gloriosa, it's the Navy. Get moving with the loot. Don't leave a single crumb behind. On it. Hey, at least let us keep some food. We spotted the Roger and Kuja crews. Quick, snap a picture. It'll be worth a fortune. Knock it off. Hurry up, we've got to set sail. Roger, isn't that Garp's ship? What did you just say? Alright, men, new plan. Crush them. And now we get a shot of both Roger and Garp saying crush them. Pirate, Goldie Roger, future king of the pirates and father of Ace. Vice Admiral, Monkey D. Garp, future hero of the Marines and grandfather of Luffy. And Garp is holding his cannonball, ready to do that cannonball barrage thing that he used to do. Meteor Fist. Karami Tamai. They're here. Ooh. Just had to be Garp's ship, didn't it? Roger, Garp. And we have a Conqueror's Hockey clash between them. Roger using his sword, Garp using his fist. Roger, Garp, and Rox. Three who would be spoken of as legends in the great pirate era. But at this time, their blood burned with the passion of youth. Sister, hang in there, huff huff. My heart aches. These two are so dreamy. Many saw them as idols, and their wanted posters fetch high prices. Stalkers taking creep shots became a daily nuisance for the crew. Soon after this encounter, Shakuyaku was crowned empress, and her popularity continued to grow to an unimaginable level. Okay, so Gloriosa has a love sickness for Roger. Was it the love sickness that ended up making Shakuyaku have to become the empress? Shakuyaku was crowned the empress. Shakuyaku was the empress. Then this Tritoma became the empress after Shaki. Okay, next page. Ida's Tavern in Elbaf. Saw Loki drowning after the ship capsized. He's always acting up so badly when you're not around. I honestly wondered whether I should help him or not. Sorry, and thank you for saving him. Loki, pull yourself together. What the hell? You shouldn't have even hesitated to help. How would you feel if Loki had died? So you got Ida yelling at the ship's captain. Come on, Ida. Loki's the one who selfishly took the ship and sailed off. So what? If you can just stand by and let a kid die, I'd drag him under and drown him myself 100 times over. I didn't ask anyone to save me. Damn it, that's the piss poor attitude I was talking about, says the captain. You lost your mom and your dad's always quite busy. I bet you must get pretty lonely, right, Loki? Shut up, you old hag. Haha, wouldn't it be better to stay with us? No way, both Loki and Harujen say. I'm onto you, Ida. You're just acting all motherly, so we'll let you move into the castle. Aren't you just a gold digger? Screw you, Loki, says Harujen. What you said is unacceptable. Apologize right this instant. Don't you care how Ida feels? Says Harold. You kids are just too cute. You're being too sweet on him. I hate how he says such mean things to you, stupid Loki. Mato, are you crying for me? The world is full of kind and beautiful people. I'm sick of this goddamn country, says Loki. Every single one of you is weak and dirty. I'm going to be free like Rox. From then on, each time Rox visited to try and recruit Harold, Loki would attempt to join Rox's crew, but he would ultimately never get his way. Aren't you happy? I'm going to follow him out to sea, because I hate you all right back. Several months after the Rox crew's takeover of Pirate Island, where the hell did you come from? Here to join the Rox Pirates. Yeah, ha ha ha, maybe in your dreams, but it ain't gonna happen. You won't even lay eyes on them. The Rox Pirates are the ocean's all-stars of evil. See that fish-shaped boulder over there? That's where they're said to be holed up. If you're dead set on meeting them, head that way. But the deeper into the island you go, the madder the bastards get. Take that. Ugh. Yeah, that'll teach ya. So they're kicking someone around. Good luck with that death wish. Yeah, ha 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 ha. What? Yeah. Kill the hitman. Yeah, you're... Kill the wicked. Future Silver Axe. What's Shiki's rival doing here? The strong gathered around Rox, and their presence attracted even stronger recruits. What the? Kaboom! So we've got the Skull Rock on Pirate Island blowing up. From the inside, looks like there was an explosion inside. What a view! Look at the scenery. Oh, I get it. So the rock on Hachinosu, that's a skull with a bandana. It originally didn't have eye holes. So it originally looked like a fish, with the knot of the bandana being the fish tail. So it originally looked like a fish. Rox blew two giant holes in the rock. So it now has eye holes, and it looks like a skull. What a view. Look at the scenery. Blasting a couple of holes in the place was the right call after all. Ain't that right? As I was saying, There's two devil fruits I'm after. One of them's most likely on Elbaf. It'll only show its true power if Harold eats it. We'll need those Galera folks too, right? We'll need those Galera folks too, yeah? I've heard the legends, but... Pirate Captain John. So there's Captain John. I'm using all my contacts to try and track him down. But there's nothing about a frozen army of giants. Pirate Charlotte Linlin, future Big Mom. So now we have Captain John and Big Mom. Even if you find them, what good are a bunch of corpses now, says Whitebeard. Exactly, there's no way to bring them back. Pirate Streusen, Linlin's partner in crime. So you have Streusen. Shut it, we're talking about dreams. Don't be a downer. Even if they did come back to life, they have no reason to listen to you. Pirate Barbell, Catfish Merman. That's why we need Harold. He's the current king of Elbaf. Can't we just use our strength to force them to obey? We can do the same thing that Harold guy too. Pirate Kaido, future king of the beast. Huh? Never say that again, you brat. And Rocks kicks Kaido in the face. Calm down, Rocks. Why you? Kaido. You stop it too. You just got this island. Do you two want to turn it into ruin already? A group like this is bound to implode sooner or later, but this isn't the time. Right, let's hold off on that till we cash in a little more. Get it? You horn-headed rookie, says Captain John. Harold's my good pal. I'll crush you if you say that crap again, Kaido. Listen up, you lot. Elbaf is the key to bringing down the Holy Land. If any of you don't buy that, then get lost. It's your choice if you want to stand with me on the day of destiny. But if you've got the guts, follow me. Rocks Pirates, I'll take you to the world's summits. The crew has formed. Rocks Pirates. Chapter 1156, end. So this would be the entirety, the full Rocks Pirates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yep. A 12-member crew, including Rocks himself, the Rocks Pirates. The Galera folks too, yeah? So, we got a bit more of Rocks' plan here. So, there's a devil fruit, which we already sort of mostly had confirmed, but this is the final nail in that confirmation. The national treasure of Elbaf is a devil fruit. Rocks after that devil fruit. Also, that devil fruit, Rocks said that Harold needs to eat it for it to unlock its true power. And that's a big question. Why Harold? Does that mean only a giant can maximize the power of this particular devil fruit? Then we get from Captain John that they're looking for the Galera, the frozen giant army in Galera. They're Frozens, the frozen giant army. So their goal is to thaw out those giants, right? Thaw them out, bring them under control using the King of Elbaf, because they will respect the royalty, the crown. It's very interesting. It sets things, so many thoughts into motion. So, what do we need the devil fruit for? What is that particular devil fruit needed for? Also, Blackbeard, Rocks confirmed there were 2 devil fruits that it was after. One is the National Treasure of Elbaf. The one that Harold was supposed to. So there's that. Then there's this mystery second devil fruit, but we're going to put that aside for a moment. The one devil fruit, the National Treasure of Elbaf. Why that devil fruit has to be eaten by Harold, and what is it to achieve? They need the giants from Galera, but the giants from Galera are frozen, so they would need a way to free them, a way to thaw them out and free them. Now, when we think about Elbaf, we know that they worship the sun god Nika in Elbaf. So, if the treasure was the Gomu Gomu fruit, the Nika fruit, if that was the treasure, would they be operating? Would Elbaf and any people that hear the legend be operating under the assumption that anyone who eats that fruit will gain quote-unquote sun powers? So would their expectation be that with the sun powers, the eater of that fruit could melt the ice and free the Galarian soldiers? And then, since that would be Harold himself in Rox's ideal scenario, then the army would follow him, follow Harold. Harold follows Rox, so Rox would have control of this giant army, and with this giant army, it's a powerful army of ancient warrior giants, could crush the world government and take over the world. That is the very succinct and as uncomplicated version of events that I can put together based on the information we have here. But that all hinges on the national fruit of the National Treasure of Elbaf being specifically the Nika fruit A. And B, it depends on people having some misconceptions about what the fruit does and thinking that it has sun power. Which I guess could be the case because there was a lot of misinformation and obfuscation from the world government about what the powers of the fruit was, and there's no historical record to show what the power of the fruit is, so it could be easy that it could make sense that there's a misunderstanding like that, but then we also have to consider that Rox really does his research. Blackbeard is a lot like Rox, so in that sense, it'll be hard to imagine that Rox wouldn't know about the world government's lying and hiding and covering up information about devil fruits. Especially since his information gathering has led him far enough to know of the existence of the fruit. And it being the national treasure of Elbaf and things like that. That's one scenario. Other scenario, it could be a different fruit. It could not be the Nika fruit. It could be another fruit that has the power to melt the glacier that the Galarian giant army is trapped in. So far in the story, there are two other fruits that are associated with heat, fire, the sun, what have you. There's the Maramara no Mi, Asus fruit, and then there is the magma fruit. Now the Maramara no Mi, since that is a fire fruit, a flame fruit, and it's not, information about that fruit is not hidden or obfuscated by the world government. So they would know that people that ate that fruit in the past, there would be kind of more general knowledge that people that ate that fruit in the past had this firepower, which definitely invokes imagery of the sun. And if people were looking for a quote unquote sun fruit, they could easily mistake that fruit for the sun god fruit. So it could be that the Maramara no Mi was the treasure of Elbaf. And then the plan goes pretty much the same. Rox would want Harold to eat the fruit, Harold to use the firepower to melt and thaw out the Galarian giants. And because Harold is the king of Elbaf, the Galarian giants will follow him. And as a member of Rox's crew, Rox gives orders to Harold, so Rox would have control of the giant army and using the questionable government. That trend would also flow through if it was the magma fruit. And I guess the magma fruit, people could also mistake that from the sun fruit, but it kind of feels weird. The fruit is already so associated with Akainu that, I mean, we can disassociate and separate the power from the current power holder. Like, Bon Clay is a good guy, and he has the clone fruit, and the person that had the fruit before him was not a good person. So we could have a reverse sort of situation here, I suppose, in theory. But, I think that opens up a whole lot of room for speculation and theory crafting. And that's just if we go down the line of the national treasure of Elbaf is a fruit that can melt and free those giants. Maybe the fruit does something completely different. But if it does, that would make that fruit a mystery fruit. Because what other power or ability could possibly be of use here? That is also something important enough to be considered the national treasure of Elbaf. All the clues sort of we have in the story kind of point towards it being the Nika fruit. We have Loki's obsession with Nika and wanting to have Nika's power. Why would he have that, if not for the Legends of Elbaf? So the treasure of Elbaf would be the fruit. Yeah, I'm thinking it's like a high likelihood that it's gotta be the sun fruit, Luffy's fruit. That's National Treasure of Elbaf. Okay. And then we have the second fruit, the mystery fruit. Because Rock said there were two fruits he was interested in. And then the second fruit. What does Rock plan to do with this second fruit? I'm thinking it's fruit that Rox wants to eat for himself. In which case, I think it would have to be the darkness fruit. Two fruits that he's interested in. One. Hmm. Hmm. And Harold has to be the one to eat it. Blackbeard didn't want to eat the national treasure of Elbaf because he didn't want those powers in particular. There's a second devil fruit he's interested in, and that's the fruit that Rox wanted to eat because he felt that fruit was essential to him gaining control of the world, becoming king of the world. So maybe, what if we flipped it here and said that Rox was after the sun god fruit? He wanted to eat the sun god fruit. And if that's the case, then the national treasure of Elbaf will be some other kind of fruit. But what other kind of fruit could it be? See, I don't think it could be, it's not some kind of mind control or subjugation style fruit because they don't need that. Rock's thinking is that the Galarians, once thawed, they will follow the King of Elbaf. They will follow Loki. Or not Loki, they will follow Harold. There's no need for a devil fruit to make them follow and obey. So the devil fruit has to be the power to free them from the ice, is what my thinking is. Because what else would they do? And it has to be Harold that eats it. I mean, I guess it could be something else, maybe, but trying to keep things simple because that's always a good place to start out. And you can branch out from there. But in reality, we still don't have enough info. We have some info that kind of strongly hints towards what the national treasure of Elbaf is. Then we have this total question mark on the second fruit. But because it is rocks, we can connect it to Blackbeard and Blackbeard's interest in the darkness fruit in particular. And I guess we did get a confirm in the last chapter that Rox doesn't have a devil fruit at this point. And it looks like he failed to get a devil fruit even before he died. So that lightning look, his lightning, sort of lightning visual motif is that's just what he looks like. It's not an indication of any power that he has, which I'm okay with. We have the question of Davy Jonesians. That means there's a lot to consider. Two chapters really big. Loki flashback has been pretty darn massive for lore. Probably not as massive as the revelations from Egghead, because those were global things, the world, the state of the world and world history, and how the world has been. The Rock's backstory is more things in the Rogers era, how events were unfolding, shaping, and falling out in the Rogers era, which sort of set things up for the current era and how the current story is going. So it's important. It's big revelations, but I would still say that Egghead Revelation is way bigger in scale and story impact. But I think that's got us caught up, so we're only 2 chapters behind. Or were we 3? Oh no, we are 3 behind actually. Okay, so let's do chapter 1157. The Legendary Bar. And it starts out with the Yamato cover story returning. We've got Yamato, Kiku, and one of the mob bosses, the Yakuza bosses. And child Yamato on the Holy Alliance Shrine Pilgrimage, 539. He died protecting the village from Kaido, leaving no trace of his body behind. He died. So we're in that snowy region of Wano. Lots of swords sticking up out of the snow. He died protecting the village from Kaido, leaving no trace of his body behind. Was it Ringo, the snowy area? Mount Hakumai? Trying to remember where the snowy region of Wano was. And who died? I don't think this is Yasui. Let's see. Since Kiku's there, I'm thinking Izo, but they showed a grave. They showed graves for, if I'm remembering correctly, they showed graves for Izo and oh, I'm blanking on his name. The pink-haired samurai. Shuten Maru. Well, that was that his name or was that his bandit name? Either way, Shuten Maru. They showed Izo and Ashura Doji. So Ashura Doji and Easily. They showed graves for them. I'm pretty sure they did. During Wano. Who else died protecting a village from Wano? Or died protecting a village from Kaido? Hmm. Who else could have died protecting a village from Kaido? I'm not seeing anyone else, but let's move on into the chapter itself. Recently have had Otoko wa Surayo. It's tough being a man. Playing in the background while I do color work. Once you say it, it's all over. Otoko wa Surayo. Foot Colony, Temple of International Philanthropy Federation. Woohoo! This is a ton of loot. Let's haul it all out. The Rock's crew in action. Nice work, that's everything. Let's book it. Please, somebody, that money was donated for poor children in need. Yeah, right, if that's true, why hasn't it been turned over? We're gonna keep it, right? Hey, Achoku, wait. Wow. Lower the lift. We're still underground. Quick. Shut up already, Sheik. Hey, Shiki. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about him. Toss. Hmm? Wait. The hell? The island is sinking? Wow. No, this is an earthquake. It's gotta be his handiwork. New gate. The temple. Gotta admit, I'm a bit jealous I can't do that. It's just you can get enough power, huh? You better choose wisely if you seek one out. You'll be stuck with it for life. Good point. Who was it? Which one of you tried to ditch us down there? Figures it'd be you, Shiki. Oh, Kyokan, thank goodness you survived. I was so worried about you. I'm gonna kill your ass. What the hell are you all doing? Move it, everyone. At least kept that treasure safe. At least kept that treasure safe, right? Of course. Hey, Rocks, look at the shore. It's the Navy. Wahahaha, new challenges have shown up. Hey, knock it off with the infighting. This ain't the time. Should have been getting ready to ship off. The Marines are everywhere. That was fast. Did someone leak our plans? Screw it. No point in prepping to sail now. Get ready to fight. Plunder everything and sink 'em all. In a mere 2 years since their formation, the record of the Rock's crew spoke for itself. 16 documented raids, 76 sunken ships, 14 ports reduced to ash, 5 towns wiped off the map, 1 nation brought to ruin, 3 unprecedented violations of Article 18 of international law, and 25 criminal records quietly erased. Even with the future pirate king Goldie Roger still in the seas, it would not have been an overstatement to refer to this period as the era of rocks. So the rocks pirates attacked that Navy fleet and sunk them. Enishi, New World. What are you doing? Leave this place at once, Herald. All non-affiliated nations are considered lawless territories. Don't concern yourselves with the humans living here. They have no rights. That's messed up. The world government can't just decree everything like that. Let them go. This country gave to Elbaf during our famine, with the kindness of their hearts. They're our friends, our saviors. King Harold, help us. We're not leaving without repaying our debt. Harold, you understand that Elbaf is under consideration for becoming a member nation, correct? Intervening to help us would be one thing, but you'll only hurt your membership bid if you intervene on behalf of a non-affiliated country. So you've got some world government agents. They're apparently attacking this non-member nation, and Harold is witnessing it. King Harold! Harold leaping out with his sword raised. King Harold exposed. Elbaf monarch sinks innocent battleship. Alliance with government revealed as a ploy. World Economic Journal headlines. So we got the press doing their job. Wahahaha, you see, that's the government for you. Let's drink at the castle, Harold. Don't be dumb. I'm not letting a man with a reputation as bad as yours come into the mainland. The whole nation should be joining up with me. Come on, Harold, give it up. I can't stand seeing you grovel to the government anymore. So they're at Ida's Tavern in Elbaf. Sooner or later, Elbaf will become a member nation of the world government. Do you think shaving your head was a sign of good faith? Is that a cultural thing you got from somewhere? Wahahaha. Garf laughed at me too. Garp? That guy hates the top brass. He'd also be better off as a pirate. They're a massive organization. Sure, they've got corrupt trash in their ranks. But the Navy is a fine army. The average Marine helps to save people on a day-to-day basis. Some of them already come from Elbaf, like John the Giant. More of our country's warriors followed suit. They could use their boundless strength to really make a difference for people everywhere. Now that's terrifying. Why don't you talk some sense into him, Ida? I wish I could. If Harold was my son, I'd tell him you should choose your friends wisely. Hey, don't take shots at me. Okay, Navy headquarters. If a giant were to roll over in their sleep, people could be crushed to death. If one just loses their temper, lives could be lost. Do you really think humans can coexist with such creatures? That's just what they told me. They really said all that? Yep. So got our Navy. Our Navy team here. They're fine letting them join the Navy, but that's all, huh? Vice Admiral Garp, Leafy's grandpa. Harold is an honest man. He's trying to learn from history and change Elbaf. Vice Admiral Sengoku, future fleet admiral. There's rumors it's being scattered by rocks. If that's true, the Navy might not be able to stand against them. Vice Admiral Tsudu, future great staff officer. You make good points. but it is what it is. Damn it, we're really stuck between a rock and a hard place now. Admiral Kong, future Commander-in-Chief. So you have confirmation that Kong was an admiral, and the rank above admiral is, of course, Commander-in-Chief. But we do confirm that Kong was an admiral, so he was above admiral level when he became Commander-in-Chief, or at least at admiral level, which is interesting since he's one Navy officer that we haven't really seen in action in the story. Still, you can't deny their wild and violent track record. That's exactly the kind of strength I'm after, Kong. Just hurry and make up after Member Nation already. If it were up to me, it would be an issue. 42 years ago, Hachinosu. This is huge. This is really huge. This is big news. Shakuyaku has quit as captain of the Kuja Pirates. What? That means there's no chance we'll run into her at sea anymore. It can't be. I said sail because I dreamed of being attacked by Shakuyaku's Kuja Pirates. Damn it, we've wasted our youth. Shaki-chan! What are you up to, Shaki? And so now we've got Gloriosa reading the paper. And she's sitting with Big Mom. And Katakuri is sitting on Big Mom's arm. And we've got Oven. And what was the other son? Oven. For the triplet, we got Oven, Katakuri, and Daifuku. Oven, Daifuku, and Katakuri are there around Big Mom, and she's drinking booze. What are you up to, Shaki? Do you reckon she quit so she could chase after a man like you did, Gloriosa? Does love always lead to ruin on Isle of Women? Like you know anything about the pain of love. You crank out kids like popcorn. Anyway, I honestly can't imagine her getting lovesick. I'd never forgive her if she went after Roger. It's always shaky this and shaky that. At least you only got eyes for me, right, Newgate? I've never been in love with you. What did you just say? I'm the popular sensation, Miss Bucking. Ain't that enough? No, I want you. So we got Bucking talking to Newgate. When he rejects her, she starts trying to choke him. No way, something crazy is happening. What's wrong? It's the Kuja Pirates. Huh? They're coming towards the coast. What? In Pirates Island's history, this incident is said to rank among the greatest. Even with all that was yet to come, the arrival of the world's most beautiful idol caused a commotion in this hive of murderous fiends. It's a goddess. I can die happy. Thanks for the ride, Chichoma. This will do. Yes, ma'am. So this is the Pirate Island. What brings you here, ma'am? This land is too filthy for you. You mustn't go any further. Tears blur my vision, yet her light still blinds me. Is she real or am I dreaming? So pretty. A knockout, what a babe. Wait a minute. Are you joining the Rocks crew like Gloriosa? No, I just want to live here for a while. What? Quitting won't matter to the Marines. They'll always be after me since I was a pirate. So I'm gonna hide out here for a while with all of you. You'll protect me, right? Of course we will. This place smells. We'll clean it up right away. I want to open a store. We'll build one for you. Let's grow some flowers for her. Hey, what's all this noise? Got the Rocks pirates showing up? Why are you rats making such a racket? The Rocks crew's back. This is bad. Don't blame her, Captain Rocks. This was our doing. Huh? What's she doing here? The pirate island of Hachinosu was a buzz of excitement. What the hell is this? Creek. So we got Shecky's bar already built and set up here on Pirate Island. Shecky's ripoff bar had finally opened. They say the wait to get in would take over a month. Welcome, I'm so happy to see you. You'll be my first customers. So we've got Shaky, she's now out of her Kuja Pirates uniform and in her, not the uniform or outfit she has in the present time, but in a barmaid outfit with her name written across it, Shaki. Would you like a drink? She's an angel. Shakiyaku was like a flower blooming in a dry wetland. And then we have all of the Rocks Pirates, all the guys on the Rocks Pirates having their hearts thumping. So they are all charmed by Shaki. Their very presence enriched the island. The inhabitants of Hachinosu came to covet her as a treasure, an irreplaceable crown jewel. I just can't open it. I'll give you a hand. Fortunately, a treasure is always the inevitable target of theft. This place smells great. Room of authority in Marie-Joie. Very well. Relay this to Harold. We shall accept Elbaf's admission into the world government on one condition. The warriors of Elbaf kill Rocks. That's what it will take for Harold to gain admission? Chapter end. Okay, so this chapter is a little bit less of an info dump than the previous two chapters were. Still some information here, but it's mostly a little bit of setup for things to come. We do get more information about the path that Shaki took. So Shaki was captain of the Kuja Pirates for about 4-ish years. During that period, she took over as captain not because Gloriosa left the Kuja Pirates and left Amazon Lily due to her love sickness to become a pirate on Rox's crew, because then she could chase around Roger. So that explains how Gloriosa was able to cure her own love sickness. How Shaki was not Empress of the Kuja Pirates because she took over. They're not Empress of Amazon Lily and leader of the Kuja Pirates, because she also left. Then Tritoma took over, and Tritoma would be the mother of Boa Hancock, I'm thinking. And then Boa takes over. And now we are caught up and break. So really big set of chapters here. I think we're not winding down. Every time I thought we were getting close to the end of the flashback, there's more flashback. This is basically the Rocks flashback is what we're getting here, which this is a good way to present it because the only other option really to present it would be to have Blackbeard present Rox's backstory, which doesn't make it as much sense because Blackbeard wasn't alive for Rox's backstory, so can't really relay it that well. So this is a good way to relay it. And then Blackbeard, of course, he will most likely relay his own backstory, but that might include any lingering revelations about Rox that we don't quite get by the end of this flashback. Probably be revealed in Blackbeard's flashback because he most likely did go back to learn all about his father and the life he led and what his dream was, what he died trying to achieve, what Blackbeard's legacy is that he inherited from Rox, all of that. So this will be good setup to tie into that when that eventually happens. We're kind of getting close to explanation of how Harold ended up dying because we now learned he had this friendship with Rox. Rox was always trying to get him to join the crew because he wanted Elbaf's strength. Ida kind of knew that Rox couldn't really be trusted. She didn't like that Harold was friends with such a shady, questionable person. Loki took to idolizing Rox because of his dream and his freedom and going after that dream. Shaki's ripoff bar was first on Hachinosu, so eventually she moves it to so she starts off what's the name of the place? The archipelago. With the mangroves. Shibondi, that's it. So she starts off on Hachinosu, then moves to Shibondi. What would cause her to move to Shibondi? Something would have to happen on Pirate Island? Or maybe just the dissolution of the Rocks Pirates itself was enough to make her decide to move? Something moves her to Shibondi. So it would have to be between now and after the execution of Roger, or maybe it isn't really explained, but it seemed like she might have already been on Shibondi for at least a few years before Rayleigh eventually settled there. So a little before Roger's execution. Be the time when Shaky went to Shibondi from Hachinosu. But there's a lot on impact of Shaky here. She's actually been moving and shaking as much in the Roger and Rox era, she was moving and shaking things at or even more than Laura Hancock in the current story, even though she has done a lot, responsible for a lot in the current story. Probably more just for the mere fact that she helped Luffy, and obviously she will help Luffy even more in the future. So there's lots of room for her to eventually have an impact equal to or even bigger than the impact that Shaky had on the world during her time. So that would be the last chapter we read. So we got through 3 of them, and now we are all caught up on One Piece. Good to be caught up. Thankfully I only got pretty, well, not minor, but I guess some of them were minor. Like, I knew there was some focus on Shaki. I didn't know how big it was. And thankfully I didn't get spoiled too much beyond that. And the Davy back fight thing, sort of got a whiff of that, but still not too much spoilery. Managed to avoid most of it. So with that, I will catch you guys in the next chapter review. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I will catch you all in the next chapter review. Till then, take care.